Hey guys, Matt again. Recently we posted on Facebook that we got a bunch of these clearance magazines in from an online retailer and seemed pretty interested in having us do a little unboxing video to kind of check out the quality of them. We ordered about 100 of them. On this order, we're going to do about 70 or so. I think that'll be a pretty good representation of what they look like. Here's two that we pulled out. The first couple, just immediately you could see one of them is Israeli marked, the other one is not. Finishes kind of vary a little bit, but they are good surplus used magazines so far. I've seen people on the FAL forums and Facebook on the L1A1 forums or the pages kind of, it's very hit and miss. Some people are getting 50-50 junk mags and some good mags. Some people are getting a lot of really good mags. So I think this lot is probably bigger than most what people order. Give us a rough idea what we're kind of looking at getting if you order some from them. So let's go ahead and dive into them. Let's take a look here. So they all came kind of saran wrapped, as you can see. There's some in bundles of 5, some are in 3s, some are individually bundled. They were all wrapped. It was nice to protect them during shipping, prevent any damage or scratching needlessly. It's a surplus magazine, so I mean it's nice, but I could kind of care less. This one, this is Israeli marked as well. Same as that one. It's a little faint. Looks like it might have been reparkerized or blemished at that spot at one point. It's not as clear and crisp. Looks good. So we're going to put a couple piles here. I think our Israeli marked magazines will go off to the side. Our non-marked mags we'll put on the opposite side here, and then we'll kind of do a total count at the end there of what we've got. Here's another regular surplus mag. This is Israeli marked. These are supposed to be metric magazines. I have heard some reports of people getting 1-inch pattern magazine thrown in there. I will take a look and see. See, that magazine is really nice, other than a little bit of surface dust. I thought that was rust. That's just dust. It's coming right off. So that magazine almost looks brand new. Nice mag. Now, the cost on FAL mags for many years were relatively inexpensive. That's another Israeli mag. But in the last, I'd say a year or two, they've really kind of shot up there. Israeli magazines especially, because of all the Hebrew Warhammers and parts kits that DSA came out with the light barrel rifles. The heavy barrel ones were always popular, but a lot harder to find. I think the resurgence of all these mags coming in, a little bit of a price increase, generally $25 to $30 now for a really clean Israeli magazine. This one is a little crusty. It's Israeli marked. I think most of this will come out with a scrub or ultrasonic cleaning, but this is kind of outwardly ugly, but I still think very functional, and most of it will clean up. All right. Let's continue with the unwrapping here. They did come in just one large box with everything thrown in there. Invoice at the bottom of the box. Everything was, like I said before, neatly saran wrapped. Yeah, that one's not marked. See, that one's another really nice, clean magazine. Just a lot of crud and dust on the inside, not rust. Maybe a little bit of corrosion, but very small amounts. Most of that should clean right up. So that mag's almost brand new. That's another Israeli marked mag. Some of them you can hear when you touch them or tap them on the table, they're full of grease. That one doesn't have quite the sound the other ones do, probably because it's full of old grease and stuff. Let's see, that one's also Israeli marked. That's looking pretty good so far. I mean, we're looking like 2 for 1 so far on the Israeli to unmarked mags. This one looks like a really nice clean mag as well. Yep. Again, you could see a lot of this caked on old Cosmoline grease that's just kind of solidified and had, you know, 40, 50 years worth of dust and grime glued to it. Should clean up. Also, so as I'm sure most of you guys know right now, during this whole COVID thing, things are really slowing down as far as availability of product. Our shop is kind of empty and devoid of any kind of new stuff. Most of it is sold out on back order. You can't get a lot of stuff right now because it's been bought up. All 3 of those were Israeli marked, and they're all really nice. Just a little bit of surface grime. Some of these are really easy to find the edge, and other ones you'll spend more time finding the end, just rip it all apart. So that's unmarked. That one's a really clean Israeli magazine right there. That one's not marked. It's not marked. That's another really nice, clean magazine. That's unmarked. Seems like the bundles of mags are easier to open. 2 are marked. All 3 of those are really nice. So, okay, we're gonna, there we go, make it easier. This is a Bussy Team Gemini Ultra Light Brigade knife, very similar to the exact one that was used on the Walking Dead series. Super sharp knives. Recommend them if you'd like to have a really good fixed blade carry knife. So one thing I will say that's important is we are dealing with magazines that are 40, 50, 60 years old. Who knows what conditions they were stored under, how much use and abuse they received. I would generally recommend, if you're gonna use these magazines for anything other than going to the range and having fun and plinking at paper, you take apart every single magazine, you thoroughly clean the inside and the outside, and go ahead and get a set of new springs. Most of the time, people buy a brand new rifle. They go out and buy some surplus magazines at the gun show they have no history or know anything about. And then when they have the slightest problems, they turn around and blame the gun manufacturer or say the gun's crap, but they're using a grease-filled 50-year-old magazine that's still got desert sand in it with old springs. So before you start blaming the firearm or the ammo or something else, and make sure everything you're using is clean, and starts with the magazine. That's another really clean, nice magazine right there. Very nice mag. That one looks almost unissued. Beautiful. A lot of these are really coming out very nice. I'd say nicer than expected, to be honest. I was expecting half of these to be pretty rusty and gross. And again, most of this discoloration and all this crud, I don't know if you could see in the light how shiny that is just with grease and grime. Most of this will clean right up. Alright, well, so that's probably... We'll set that aside for 1 second. We'll look at that in a minute. Oh, these are super greasy. You can see how dirty my hands are getting just from handling these. So this is going to be the worst magazine so far that I've received. Little bit of surface rust. It's not pitting. It's not real deep. There's some finish loss there. You could see that silver metallic glint coming through there with a little bit of surface rust. Again, this magazine with a little bit of cleaning should look about 100 times better. And this is a great surplus mag. If you saw this kind of quality magazine at a gun show for 10, 15 bucks, I'd buy it all day long. They're really nice, clean magazines these days. They're starting to go for like 20 to 30 bucks. And I only anticipate those prices to keep going up. Part of the reason why, I think, is you've got more and more people interested in surplus firearms. Supply and demand kind of thing. Just the general prices of anything surplus or military related continues to climb. They're not making any more new surplus magazines, so what's out there and being imported into the country is all we're going to have to be working with. There are a couple manufacturers that were trying to make brand new magazines, and some of them have varying degrees of success. Typically, when it comes to FALs, I really like the Moses magazines, and I like the original surplus ones. If that was my go-to firearm, I was gonna bet my life on it, I would use those two magazines only. All these look really nice. Yep. Start another pile here. Just absolutely great looking magazines. I'm impressed. I was actually expecting these to be in worse condition. Oh, sorry. I did not see any of the other style Israeli markings. They're like the IDF markings, they call them sometimes. All of the ones so far that I've seen are the little oval with the 2 characters in them. And that's the only type that I've seen so far. Followers, like you see here, you know, they vary from Parkerized to blued, but they're generally all the same style magazine. Otherwise, there's no, I haven't seen any rare early magazines, you know, like stainless steel followers or anything special. Nothing painted. Yeah, see, that's most of that crud just coming right off. All right, last couple. Oh, okay, we might have a winner for worst looking magazine here. This is Israeli. So that's going to be, oh, that's the body of the magazine looks pretty good. It's just the follower on this one, it's kind of cruddy. There's definitely a little bit of corrosion right in this area on the front of the follower. Again, I suspect most of this will clean up without much of a problem. A little bit of steel wool maybe on this one. I might just blast it and throw it in my Parkerizing tank and redo that follower, or you know, just take this one magazine apart for spares. It's not marked, but or I'll take that really ugly mag and swap the follower because it's nicer than this, and I'll just have one really ugly mag. And looks like that one's unmarked as well, so that gives us a real nice even pile. I believe we did 70 magazines total. We've got piles of 5 here, so it's 5, 10, 15, 25, 35. So 35 out of 70 were unmarked, so we're looking at 50%. So it's not as good as that initial thought. Oh, hey, the little dog. Edelweiss decided to come by the shop. Still an awesome deal, considering that for what I paid for the whole lot, just the Israeli magazines alone at 30 bucks a piece would go for that much. Really good quality magazines. I think whoever's complaining just got a bad batch, or they should just not buy surplus magazines. Their expectations are way too high. I foresee every single one of these cleaning up and being functional. I would, as I mentioned, throw in a fresh set of springs on anything that you're going to do anything other than going to the range with, because you don't know how old these springs are, what the quality of them is, and for your go-to mags, you should have brand new ones anyways. So, wonderful magazines. These will not be for sale at the shop here. These are personal hoard type of things. I'm going to put these away, and when I'm old and retired, my wife will sell them at a garage sale for $5 a piece, I'm sure. So, if you guys have any questions or comments, or would like me to do a different kind of unboxing video, or clean up some of these magazines on camera, go ahead and shoot some comments down at the bottom, and we'll see you guys later. Thanks.